Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about solving equations with angles. So using what we know about angle relationships to solve for missing piece. All right, so let's take a look at this first problem. It's asking us a few things, so we have to be careful here. We've got an angle. One of them is measured is 4C, and the other one they're saying is 5C plus 9. It's kind of hard to see in this picture, but this right here is, they're calling angle F, and this one is angle E. So this is E, and this is F, okay? So if I look, we have to find the value of C, so we have to figure out what C is, and then we have to go in and find out what is the actual measure of angle E, and what is the measure of angle F. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with, we need to first find what C is. So if I look, I have something that looks like a right angle with these two angles, but we can't really be sure. But we actually can be sure, because over here we know that's a right angle. And if this side is a right angle, which is 90 degrees, and we know that this side and the other side create this straight line, which is 180 degrees, we know that this other part right here has to be also 90 degrees. So with that being said, these two angles, E and F, together would be complementary angles because they make that right angle. Okay, so now that we know that they're right, they're complementary, we know complementary is equal 90 degrees. So we can say that 4C, which is angle E, plus 5C plus 9, which is angle F, has to equal 90 degrees. So since we've set up our equation, we can now go ahead and solve. So to solve, we're going to first add our C's together, so combine like terms to get 9C, and then bring down what we did not use, equals 90. And then now that we've simplified everything, we can go ahead and solve for C. So we're going to subtract 9 on both sides, which is going to give us 9C equals 81. And then the last step here would be to divide by 9, and that will tell us that C equals 9. Okay, so we know that the measure of angle, or not the measure of angle, we know that C is 9. So now I can go in and substitute 9 for C here to figure out the measure of angle E, and substitute 9 for C here to figure out the measure of angle F. So angle E was 4C, so we're going to do 4 times 9. 4 times 9. 4 times 9, since 9 was C, gives us 36. So that means that measure of angle E is going to be 36 degrees. Now the same thing, we had 5C plus 9. So we're going to substitute our 9 in for C, which is going to be 5 times 9 plus 9. So 5 times 9 is 45, plus another 9 would be 54, and 54 degrees. So 54 degrees would be the measure of angle F. Now, that is our answers. We can always check ourselves and make sure that E and F, if I add them together, they are complementary. So when I add them together, I should get 90, and I do. I get 90 degrees. So we did it correctly. All right, this one is going to be very similar. We are first finding the value of X, and then after that, we're going to find the measure of A, and then we're going to find the measure of angle B. So if we look, we've got a triangle here. We know that the angles inside of a triangle equal 180 degrees. All of the angles should equal 180. So that means that this one plus this one plus this one should give me 180. So I'm going to write that out. 76 plus angle A is 3x plus 11 plus angle B, which is 2x minus 7. All of that should equal 180 degrees. So our first step here is to simplify what we have on our left-hand side so we can combine like terms. So we can add 76, 11, and negative 7. And then we can also combine the 3x and the 2x. So when we do that, we end up with 5x plus 80 equals 180. And now we have a two-step equation that we can solve. So we are going to start by subtracting 80 on both sides, which leaves us with 5x equals 100. And then divide both sides by 5. And we are left with x equals 20. So x here is 20. Now that we have our value of x, we can go back and plug that into our two angles that we have. So we need to find the measure of angle A. So we're going to plug in a 20 right there. And then for B, we're going to plug in a 20. So let's start with A. We're going to do 3 times 20 plus 11. And that will tell us the value of angle A. So 3 plus 20 gives us 60. 60 plus 11 is 71. So 71 degrees is the angle, the measure of angle A. Now for B, we're going to do 2 times x, which is 20, minus 7. So 2 times 20 is 40. 40 minus 7 is 33. So that means the measure of angle B is 33 degrees. So we can always go back and check our work to make sure that we did it correctly and see if all of our angles add up to 180 degrees. We had 76 was one of our starting angles. Then we found 71 and 33. So if you check 76 plus 71 plus 33, we do get 180 degrees, which means we did this correctly. Okay, this one here, we're going to first identify the angle relationship. So if I look, I've got one angle, which is angle A, and then another angle, angle B, and together they make this straight line, which means they are supplementary, so it should together equal 180 degrees. So let's set up an equation to solve for G and then find what angle A and B are. So we're going to do 10G plus 2 plus angle B, which is 7G minus 9 equals 180 degrees. All right, so now we're going to combine like terms here. We can add our G's together, and then we can add our integers together. So 10G and 7G would give me 17G, and then negative 9 and 2 would give us minus 7 equals 180. And then we will solve. So we're going to add 7 on both sides, which would give us 17G equals 187. And then we're going to divide both sides by 17 to get our final answer. 187 divided by 7 equals 11. So G is 11 in this problem. So now we're going to take that and we're going to plug it into our G's here. So for angle A, we're going to do 10 times 11 plus 2. 10 times 11 is going to give us a measure of 110 plus 2, and that will give us our final answer of 112. So angle A is 112 degrees, 112 degrees. All right, and then the same thing for our second angle B. We are going to plug in 11. So we're going to do 7 times 11 minus 9. 7 times 11 is 77. Minus 9 is going to give us a final answer of 68. So we get 68 degrees for angle B. So if we check 111 and 68, or 112, I'm sorry, and 68 does give us 180 degrees, so we are done. All right, our final problem here that we're going to do together looks a little tricky, but it's really not that bad. We have to look carefully here to see what our angle relationship is. We know that this angle here is 106, and if we look, A and B are actually vertical angles with the angle 106. And vertical angles, remember, those are equal to each other. So when we set up our equation, we can say that 5x plus 11 plus 9x minus 3 equals 106 because they are vertical angles. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So 5x and 9x, and then we're going to do 11 and negative 3. So 5x and 9x, are going to give us 14x. And then 11 and negative 3 are going to give us plus 8 equals 106. And then we are going to solve the equation. So we are going to subtract 8, which gives us 98 equals 14x. Last step is to divide by 14. So 98 divided by 14, x is going to be 7. All right, so now we're going to plug in that value to find a and b. So if I'm looking just at angle A here, we are going to plug in a 7 where our x is. So we are going to do 5 times 7 plus 11. So 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 11 will give us a value of 46 degrees. So angle A is 46 degrees. And then if we're looking here at angle B, we're going to do the same thing, plug in our value for x. So we're going to do 9 times 7 minus 3. 9 times 7 is going to give us 63 minus 3 is going to give us 60 degrees. So angle B is 60 degrees. Now, remember these were vertical angles, so I can go back and check. Angle A and angle B should equal 106 degrees if you add them, and when you add 46 and 60, you do get 106. All right, you're going to try the next ones on your own. Check the key when you are done.